Whether you're brand new to print on demand or you're a veteran doing years and years worth of designs, we all live in constant fear of getting a copyright or a trademark strike on our print on demand account. So in this video, I've got 5 pitfalls that you can fall into when I talk about getting a strike on your account. Some of them are trademark related, some of them are copyright related. Let's jump in. All right, the first and most obvious way you can get a strike on your account is by using trademarked images. Now, this is a very obvious one. I mean, this is just flat out stealing the NFL's trademarked helmet designs and sticking them on a blanket. So, I mean, if this person, doesn't know what they're doing is wrong, it's like, well, I can't really help you. But what about something like this? Harley Quinn gets back 2,000 results in Redbubble. Is this one violating a trademark? There's no face. Doesn't say Harley Quinn on it. It's like, what about this one? This is just a silhouette. I mean, it's obviously ripped off from DC Comics because I know the artist that does this and they've just done a silhouette of it. But I mean, you can't really tell it's Harley Quinn, can you? And then there's this one here. Again, there's no face. It's just sort of a weird, stencil of, Margot Robbie. And it's like, well, is that trademarked? The way you determine if something is trademarked is it's a judgment call on whether or not an average consumer would be confused and mistake your design for something that is authorized by the actual company. So you can understand why the company would want to limit these sort of designs because they don't want to have Harley Quinn doing all sorts of weird, not cool stuff that is going to make the brand look poor. So look, this is not a black and white issue, but I will say if you're taking something that is obviously not yours, like this is a professional drawing by a comic book artist of Venom, and you're uploading it onto Redbubble, do not be surprised if you get banned someday. This is trademarked, obviously. There's no artistic interpretation of this. There's no mistaking that this is the NFL, for example. So if you're using these sort of designs, you're going to get banned eventually. The next pitfall you can run into is using trademarked words or phrases on sites like Redbubble, TeePublic, and so on. So here's a pretty common expression. OMG stands for oh my God. And here we can see there's a bunch of designs on Redbubble. The problem is it is actually trademarked. It's a registered trademark, OMG, and it's actually owned by a company here called Offbeat Media Group, LLC. This is Offbeat Media Group's website. So I'm not saying you can never use these. I'm just saying if you wind up getting a strike, it's because your actual design contains a piece of trademarked intellectual property. So what I would recommend you do is go to a website like this. It's called Justia, and you can type in the search window the phrase, and you can see if something comes up as registered. The next way you can get a strike might not be readily apparent, and it's using unmodified images. So here's an example. This is a site called Vexels.com. I love this site. I use it a lot. I've typed in the word cat. I get back a bunch of cat results. Here's one that I love. It says Cat Evolution Pet T-shirt design. When I open it up, you can see that's the design. There's a nice looking lady wearing the shirt. Okay, download this, upload it to Redbubble. Life goes on, right? This is what somebody's done on Redbubble. This user, Serenica1949, has uploaded this design onto Redbubble as is with no modifications, and they have a commercial license. They've paid Vexels to use it, and so now they've got the shirt up and running. However, check that out. Here's another one. It's the exact same design. Now, it's slightly different sized on the shirt, but it's essentially the exact same design. Drozoman has uploaded it as well. So that means if this was the only two, there might be a third one, there might be a fourth one. But if this is the only two on Redbubble, one of them, whoever uploaded it first, could, in theory, contact Redbubble and say, hey, the second person who uploaded stole my design, copied my design, and they could initiate a strike on that second person. And they'd probably be successful because Redbubble doesn't want 85 copies of the exact same shirt being sold on Redbubble. So you got to be careful when you're uploading these designs to make some minor modification. Change one of the colors or change it to a pattern or change the font. Do something. Don't just upload it as is to these third-party sites because other people could do the same thing. And if you're not first, you could get a strike. The fourth way you can get a strike is using public domain images, but not necessarily changing them. So here's an example on the Flickr album. It's NASA on the Commons. I've got Apollo mission patches open. This is a nice little album in here. Check that one out, Apollo 11. I've actually got this one on a t-shirt. I've got it on a clock. I absolutely love this mission patch. Well, so do people on Redbubble, because you can see here the very first one is MGR Productions, and then the fourth one is Doo Doo Geek. It's the exact same design. Oh, let's scroll down. There's another one there too. Zulu History Tees is coming to the party. Everybody's doing Apollo 11 shirts. Somebody could wind up getting a strike. It doesn't really matter that it's public domain, because Redbubble only really cares that you've uploaded the exact same design as somebody else. I would encourage you, when you use public domain images, to try to modify it in some way. Change the color on the outside, or make it, a slightly different shape. Make it slightly different, so at least you have a chance to fight if you get a strike against you. Another pitfall with public domain images is that they often contain trademarked elements, even if the picture itself is in the public domain. So here's a picture of the Doors, a very famous band from the 60s, and there's Jim Morrison, the lead singer. So could you use this photograph? Well, it's on Wikimedia Commons. It says it's in the public domain. Here's the logo for the Doors, and it says this logo consists only of geometric shapes. It does not meet the threshold of originality for copyright protection and is therefore in the public domain. Sounds pretty good. However, it says subject to other restrictions. If you go to the Doors official website and you scroll down to the very bottom of the page, you're going to see it says the Doors is a registered trademark of the Doors Property LLC 2022. It's an active trademark, and that makes sense. The bands like Nirvana, the Doors, the Beatles, these are all trademarked. So the idea of doing something with these on a t-shirt or a coffee mug, even with a public domain image, too risky. Another way you can get a strike is by violating the community and content guidelines on sites like Redbubble or TeePublic. Now, as soon as I say community content guidelines, people's eyes glaze over and they go, oh, I got to read through all this stuff. All I'm going to say in this video is, I'm going to put the link in the video description below. Have a read through it. And here's the important part. Make sure you tag it mature content. You can even use things like nudity. You can even use a swastika. And now I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying that at all. So please save your angry letters. I'm not saying that at all. It says symbols and icons carry strong messages. For example, the swastika crosses the Confederate flag, Hitler, and the Quran. These symbols and their like can be used in a work, but only with considerable care. So I'm not suggesting you start uploading swastika t-shirts, but what I would say is read through the guidelines, and if you think it's art, make sure you tag it mature content. I sure hope you found this video helpful. Print on demand should be fun, and it's not much fun if you're constantly terrified that you're going to get a strike. Please do leave a comment down in the comment section below, or if you have a question, feel free to drop that. And here's another video to help you on your print on demand journey. Thanks a lot for watching.